Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. You know what time it is. It's time to get into Joseline's Cabaret. This is episode 6. This is titled The Locker Room Brawl. And right from the start, I'm like, Joseline, this is not a brawl. This isn't even a fight. This scene has been the draw, the hype, the main clip that has been circulating for months about Joseline's Cabaret, and it is nothing of what you think it is. Even in the blogs, it was released in the blogs, this clip, and they were like, Joseline got jumped by these two ladies. I never really believed Joseline got jumped because I seen her fight many of people at one time. But I was just disappointed. I was like, you got us, Joseline. You got us. So now let's start the episode. Joseline is releasing a new single. We're no longer listening to Sex Drive, which I was just starting to like Sex Drive. But now we're listening to Finger Fuck a Check. I told you last week, Joseline, you're never going to get any radio play with these vulgar songs. Like, pop it up just a little bit. But I wasn't too mad at the beat when I listened to it, so keep doing your thing. Now we're at the fight scene. Joseline, they show us again. She snatched Chastity up. She dragged her to the ground and kind of pushed her there and was like, evicted win, bitch. And so one thing I noticed, Joseline last week, she told Daisy and Chastity that their hair was out of order. I said, I don't care how old their hairstyle is and how plain it is, just that center part. Whatever glue Chastity used to put that wig on, that wig did not shift. And Joseline snatched her up with all her might. That wig did not move. So the style might be out of order, but whoever put that wig on is very much in order. This episode gave nothing. This episode is boring. I'm going to try to make this review as much as entertaining and as informative as I can, but this episode gave nothing. So Daisy is trying to break up the fight. She's trying to take Joseline's hands and get her hands off of Chastity's hair and like break it up. Production jumps in, whatever. And Joseline is upset. She's like, why is Daisy touching me? I'm like, Daisy's trying to help you break up a fight so you don't get on Zeus and act a complete love and hip hop fool. But she's now mad at Daisy, and production is asking her questions about the fight, and she's like, Tamika, move on. Like, I'm not answering any more of your questions, Tamika. Move on. And so they moved on. So now we get to see Joseline sit with Ballistic. She's telling Ballistic all about the locker room fight. A lot of this is just a repeat of what we saw the other day, and I don't feel like I need to talk about it. Like, I've already explained how they got to the hair pool, and I didn't write down all those notes. So we already know, basically, Joseline came in the locker room. She said, y'all hoes are out of order. They get into an argument. She tells Chastity to get a new tag for her Toyota. They storylines are weak. What kind of businesses you got and you can't even get a real tag? Chastity says, well, at least I haven't been evicted. Joseline snatches her up and says, evicted where, bitch? And that was the end. Joseline put 20 on 10 when she retold the stories. But that's pretty much what happens. That's what Joseline did with Ballistic. Ballistic was upset that Joseline was fighting. He doesn't want her to fight. He had to go pick up Bonnie. He was like, I wish I was there with you. But Ballistic, you've never been in the locker room. And this fight happened in the locker room. But let's just move on. She told Ballistic, and she also told Ballistic that she politely snatched Chastity up. Joseline is a mess. She is a mess. And he was like, it wasn't nothing polite about what you did. And she told Ballistic she was mad at Daisy too. And so I just said, let's fast forward to the end of this. Now, Joseline gets to meet with Sapphire and Lucky and tells Sapphire and Lucky the exact same thing she tells Ballistic. So I'm not about to recap all that all over again. She just tells them about the fight. And I wrote that in my notes. I said, are we just gonna, like, Joseline, what kind of episode is this? Is this episode you just gonna meet with different people and tell them the exact same story? This is not entertaining to me at all. So now, after Joseline recaps everything with Jay and Sapphire, I mean, Lucky and Sapphire, Jay wasn't there. Jay had to make her money. Her pimp said he ain't got time for all this foolishness. She got to get out there and work. So Jay couldn't make it. And so she was telling Lucky and Sapphire. Lucky says, yeah, I know all about the fight because after it was done, Daisy or Chastity called and told her. And so Joseline was like, what you doing talking to them bitches? Like, I was just fighting over you with these bitches and you talking to these bitches. And Lucky is like, you weren't fighting over me. And she was like, yes, I was fighting over you. And she was like, well, how am I supposed to know you were fighting over me? All I do is get a phone call. We left. We went to go smoke some weed. So we don't know what's going on in the locker room. And all I get is a phone call that this brawl went on. So how am I supposed to know what started the fight? And Joseline, that's true. I mean, you did come in the locker room taking up for Jay and Lucky, and you were tired of Daisy and Chastity's bullshit. Now, let's put a pin in this right here. I don't know if you all are watching Marriage Boot Camp, the hip hop edition. It's a lot of fakery going on because Joseline wants to fight Daisy and Chastity for being bullies and telling people that they look better than them. But then over here on Marriage Boot Camp, you done told Bianca the only reason she upset with you is because you more beautiful than her. So I'm like, Joseline, you doing the same bullshit on a whole nother network. This is for TV. I like the Cabaret. It is entertaining, but everyone needs better storylines because she's steady saying that, yeah, I told them bitches they ain't have no storyline. Like, them bitches ain't got no storyline. And I'm like, none of you all have a storyline. I'm interested in Lucky's potential storyline. Like, she says she goes to the studio. Is she a singer? Is she a rapper? What else is there? Like, what else is there to Lucky besides she's dating a 51-year-old man and she's 23? And what else is there to Jay? Like, it was sad that Jay lost her mother at a young age. She's sending support back to her family, but she's on the stroll or the streets. You keep calling them $2 assholes. Like, how are you uplifting them? How are you changing their lives? You're exploiting them. And yes, they do have a salacious storyline. We have not heard of pimps and hoes and being in the strip club and all this, but you haven't given Daisy an opportunity to even give her storyline. Now, you said later, like, her baby daddy, who is the pimp, he doesn't want to be on TV, but who would? Like, what actual pimp would want to be on TV putting their business in the street so they can go to jail? I'm surprised he letting Daisy do it. I'm surprised they letting Jay do it. But it's a lot. Like, now you're telling Sapphire, it's like, well, they're fired, so are we just gonna move on with the Cabaret with just us, or are you getting new girls? And she's like, I'm getting all new girls. And I'm like, how are you getting all new girls? And just last week, the Cabaret was in 2 days. So by this point, the Cabaret should be tomorrow. How are you getting all new girls and teach them the stanky leg that fast for you to do like, the whole concept of this show is coming out to be bullshit. And I wish it just would have been Joseline having, you know, Joseline and friends. Obviously, Joseline and Daisy are real friends in real life. I wish she just would have got her homegirl and a couple of more of her stripper homegirls and just did a reality show in Miami. Because the concept of this Cabaret is turning out to be bullshit. And now by the end of it, she's pissed at Lucky now. And she's like, I should whoop Lucky's ass, but I'm not trying to go to jail tonight. And I'm like, what the fuck did Lucky do? All because Lucky doesn't understand that you were taken up for her and Jay. And she talked to Daisy and Chastity on the phone the night before. Like, it makes no sense. Like, as much as you have shown yourself to have grown, Joseline, it doesn't make sense for you to want to fight Lucky and whoop Lucky's ass. And then you get up from the table when you say, I'm getting all new girls. And you get up and then off to the side, you said, yeah, let Lucky finish getting her shine because she ain't going to be, them hoes ain't going to be on season 2, especially Lucky. And I'm like, are you that mad at Lucky? Now, one, I'm happy you getting to season 2. I hope that what you said is true. It's going to be a season 2 because it's probably going to be season 2 before we even see this damn Cabaret. But, let Lucky come back and let more people on this show actually shine. Like, you're the only one we see in the studio. We only see you and Ballistic go out for lunch here or there or talk in the house. No one on this show has a storyline. Season 2, get a new production company, actually produce a cabaret, follow each lady's lifestyle, and let them have an opportunity to shine. You created this platform for what? Did you really create this platform to help elevate these ladies and get them off the streets and out the strip club? Or is this just a platform for you to make a check? I'm not mad at you either way, Joseline, but don't say one thing that you're here to elevate these ladies, but then you come back and want to kick them off the show over bullshit. And let's get back to this eviction. I don't know if you were evicted or not. It ain't none of my business. But you were living in this nice-ass mansion. You said you were paying $4,000 a night. How is Daisy or Lucky such a bum bitch, but you moved into the same apartment she living in? And you even admit it wasn't like she got evicted. Her roommate burnt the shit down. But you living in the same place Lucky was living in. So what makes you think you that much better? And now you want to fight Lucky. I don't get it. And then obviously you've known obviously you've known these ladies for a while because you're like, Lucky, you've been to my mansion. You know what it is. It's kind of like a bipolar episode of emotions and back and forth, a bipolar storyline that I can't seem to follow anymore, and it's very hard to take notes. Next week does look like it's going to be better. Next week, Joseline, you might get red because next week you meet with Lucky to talk to Lucky, but you give her zero, like, I ain't fucking with Lucky, I'm gonna listen to her, but then she bye. But then you also go look like you're gonna meet with Daisy and Chastity and kind of talk it out with them. But I understand you would do that with Daisy because Daisy seems to be your real friend in real life. But you will get red if you give Daisy and Chastity an opportunity after they showed they complete asses all season and you toss Lucky to the curb over a stupid misunderstanding. That's all the show gave. Next week looks like it's gonna be better. At least next week, the storyline will pick up. This week was nothing but a recap. That's it, y'all. Thank you for watching. Get in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. I know it ain't nothing to think about because it was just a repeat of last week's episode. They could have just showed last week all over again. Season 2 Zeus, give Joseline more money. And that's it. Like, comment, share. Talk to y'all later. Bye.